Comfort, the most dangerous place in dentistry. Comfort feels like success. And that's what makes it so fucking dangerous. You finally start making decent money. The schedule's full. The bills are getting paid. Maybe you've got a nice house, nice car, take a couple of vacations a year. And somewhere along the way, you stop pushing. Not because you've won, but because you've gotten comfortable. And comfortable's killed more potential than failure ever will. Failure gets your attention. Pain gets your attention. When your schedule is empty, you start looking for answers. When the business isn't making money, you start making changes. When shit is falling apart, suddenly you're willing to do things differently. But comfort? Comfort whispers that everything is fine. And fine is one of the most dangerous words in the business. Because while you're comfortable, someone else is getting better. Someone else is learning how to communicate better. Someone else is becoming a better clinician. Someone else is building a stronger brand. Someone else is figuring out how to attract the patients that you want. Someone else is learning business while you're telling yourself you're already successful doing dentistry. Busy isn't the same as winning. Dentistry has created a really messed up definition of success. I'm booked out 6 weeks. Great. So what? Are you profitable? What's your overhead? I'm seeing 30 patients a day. Do you actually want to see 30 patients a day? If someone says, oh, my practice did 2 million last year. Well, great. What did you actually keep and walk home with? Revenue isn't success. Production isn't success. Being busy sure as hell isn't success. Success is building the business and the life you actually want, not allowing your business to control your life. And that requires you to keep asking a question most people eventually become afraid to ask. What could this become? Not what is it today? What could it become? Could you work fewer days? Could you produce more per hour? Could you attract better patients? Could you eliminate insurance? Could you increase case acceptance? Could you become the person people search for instead of another dentist fighting over the same patients and the same peanuts? Could you build a business that gives you more money, more control, and more freedom? Of course you could. But there's a price. The price is discomfort. Growth and comfort don't live in the same house. You want to become a great cosmetic dentist? Then you're going to have to put in the repetitions and the time to get good at the craft. You're also going to have to do cases that stretch you, and you're going to need someone to help you when it comes time to do those cases. You're going to have to photograph your work and actually look at it, critiquing it. You're going to have to see your mistakes and own up to them. You're going to have to admit somebody else is better than you and figure out why. You want to become better at case presentations? Again, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to do uncomfortable conversations to figure out how you can change your craft to become greater and better at conversation and psychology. So you're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have uncomfortable conversations. You're going to hear no. You're going to screw it up. Then you're going to do it again. You want to build a brand? Turn on the fucking camera. Your first videos might suck. Nobody may watch them. Post another. You want to get good at PPO dentistry? You want to get out of PPO dentistry? That's uncomfortable. It scares 95% of the dentists out there. That's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. Raising fees is uncomfortable. Changing your team is uncomfortable. Holding people accountable is uncomfortable. Saying no is uncomfortable. Changing the way you've practiced for 10 or 20 years is uncomfortable. Good. That's usually the signal. That's usually the signal. Because the thing you're avoiding is very often standing between where you are now and where you say you want to go. You don't need another course. Oh, Dentists love education because education feels productive without necessarily requiring change. Take another course, buy another piece of technology, learn another technique. Come home Monday and run the same frickin' business you've always done before. Nothing changes. Knowledge isn't the problem. Most dentists already know enough to dramatically improve their business. The problem is execution, strategy, systems, plans. At some point, you got to stop asking, what else do I need to know? What else could I provide? And start asking, what am I unwilling to do? That's a completely different question because now we're getting to the truth. Maybe you know you need to raise your fees. Maybe you know you need to confront someone on your team. Maybe you know you need to start actually marketing yourself for what you want to be doing instead of saying, I do everything for everybody. Maybe you know you need to get better at presenting treatment instead of allowing your front office to do the treatment presentations. Maybe you know you're hiding behind insurance out of fear. Maybe you know you're doing dentistry you don't even enjoy doing anymore. You already know. You're just comfortable. Comfort has a cost. And here's what nobody tells you. Staying comfortable isn't free. You're paying for it. You pay for it in lost income, lost opportunities, lost years, lost freedom. And eventually you look around and realize you've spent 10 years or more doing basically the same thing and nothing's changed. That's the real danger. That's what you should be thinking about. Not failing, not stagnation. I would rather make a decision, screw it up, learn from it, adjust and keep moving, than spend the next decade protecting what I already have and claiming it's okay. Because every time I've built something, created something, entered a new market, started another business, or tried something nobody around me has ever done, there was definitely uncertainty. That's the game. There's a strategy. There are systems. There are a plan. And if things aren't working, you course correct and you get back on track instead of just saying, oh, it won't work. You don't know it won't work because you're too afraid to try. That's the truth. And most people aren't willing to say that. I am. And that's how I get people to move forward and get out of their comfort zone and become something they never thought possible. So the game of business, the game of dentistry, you don't get certainty first. You move first. Then you figure shit out. It's your battle. So here's your battle this week. Identify the one thing that you know you should be doing that you've been avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable. Not 10 things. One, the conversation, the video, the fee increase, the marketing campaign, the new system, the decision, the phone call, whatever yours is, write it down now and then execute it. Because discomfort isn't something you need to eliminate. Discomfort is evidence that you're moving forward. Comfort tells you to protect what you have. Discomfort forces you to discover what you're capable of. And if you want a different business, a different income, a different reputation, or a different life, at some point you're going to have to become a different version of yourself. That version of you isn't waiting somewhere comfortable. Go find him or her. Stop waiting. Create the world that you want. Create the business that you want. Create the lifestyle that you desire. Win the day, win the week, win your war. If you're ready to stop playing by dentistry's rules and start building the business you actually want, go to legiondentist.com/start. And if you want to go deeper with me, join me for the war plan. 2 days free. Register at legiondentist.com/warplan. We're going to identify what's holding you back. We're going to identify what's holding your business back, build the strategy, and start executing the plan. Bring the problem, find the strategy, execute the plan. Register now. legiondentist.com/warplan.